Today's America's Cup racing is brought to you by Mum Champagne.
The road to the 36th America's Cup has entered new territory.
Get it up, get the bow up, get it ripping.
It's on in some of the most challenging conditions we have seen to date. There's high drama and high speeds.
These guys are going 40 knots in 8 knots of breeze. How does that happen?
75.
Plus moments of complete calmness. Both boats are basically coasting. Ineos Team UK has become the team to beat in the Prada Cup Round Robin Series.
If anyone thought Ineos was going to have trouble, think again. They look strong.
Nice one,
It's just been an incredible 3 days through this first round robin phase. And from where we were a couple of weeks ago, the team's pulled out just about every stop possible.
Luna Rossa Prada Pirelli aren't far behind.
Yep.
Wow. Maintaining their lead with a mini splashdown.
We knew this was going to be hard, but this is brutal.
The British are sailing very well, but every race against them we were very close. So we know that we can beat them.
And American Magic is in the fight of their life.
Squall here, squall here, squall here.
American Magic.
The beauty of our team is there's a high level of resolve, and I think what we're going to see over the next 8 to 10 days is the boat get rebuilt and we're going to get back into racing.
Kia ora and welcome to Aotearoa, New Zealand, home to the 36th America's Cup. This is a huge day in the Prada Cup Challenger Series. Ineos Team UK are unbeaten and on the brink of gaining direct entry into the Prada Cup final. All they have to do is take out Luna Rossa Prada Pirelli, a team with 2 decades of America's Cup experience. Let's check the leaderboard. Ineos Team UK are 4 out of 4. They need 2 more wins to advance directly to the Prada Cup final. But don't count out Luna Rossa Prada Pirelli yet. A clean sweep today and tomorrow will put them in the lead and give them direct entry to the final. At this point, it's still anyone's game. Anyone except American Magic. The Americans have withdrawn from today's racing. They are focused on getting Patriot repaired and back on the water. Terry Hutchinson has spent 20 years chasing the old mug, and he's not about to give up now. We caught up with him earlier to check progress and find out exactly what went wrong on that horrific race day.
He follows. Building speed here for the tack, 20 to boundary.
40 seconds before the top mark, we're sailing along at about 12 knots of wind and everything's pretty benign.
Heading towards the top gate for the last time, 35 knots, American Magic. This will be a huge weight off the shoulders.
About 20 seconds before the left turn, breeze comes up to 16, 17, and you can hear the audio on board and the breeze goes left, so you hear a little bit of high pitch from easing the jib. As we go into the maneuver, Dean makes a clear call left turn. He'll stay to leeward for the bear away. And as we go to bear away, basically about a 23.5 knot puff dropped down on top of us, and over she went.
3, 2, 1, setting out now.
Whoa, hang on. American Magic. My goodness!
They are over!
He's capsized.
My most vivid memory is when I heard Dean say, I've lost the rudder.
Oh, lost the rudder here.
I basically, I'm clipped into the boat, so I went to eject myself out of the boat, and my clip didn't come undone, which straight away got my cackles up, and so then I went for the knife, and the cockpit filled up straight away, and it very quickly went from everything's in okay to a pretty high fever from my perspective, as I straight away was underwater and pinned underneath the mainsail. As Sicho went by me, he could see that my head was underwater and that I was trapped. Cooper grabbed his knife and cut the left one and got me out. From there, all four of us popped out from underneath the mainsail and did the head count, and we were all, everybody was safe.
We counted all 11 people, so it looked like all people were accounted for, all 11 crew members.
Very quickly, it became apparent that Patriot had suffered some major damage, and when we got her upright, it was clear that there was a hole, and it very quickly went to a rescue operation of the boat. At the time, it felt like we had one air pocket in the boat that was keeping her afloat. I think we all thought the boat was going to sink. When Gies raised the orange buoy to the top of the mast, that to me is like a telltale sign that, and he's one of the boat captains. That's a telltale sign that he's preparing for something that is inevitable. So at what point did we realize there was a hole? I think it was within the first 3 minutes when Chase 3 picked up a piece of floating carbon. What caused the hole is that there's some transverse structure in the bow of the boat that, the impact of the hull to the water was quite significant, and basically that structure guillotines the panel out of the boat.
It's going to be a hard maneuver. It's going to be a real hard maneuver. Turning down in 3, 2, 1. Turning down now. Oh, lost the rudder here.
In that situation, the boat's designed for a certain amount of impact, but having watched and looked at the pictures, I can tell you we were well beyond the threshold. From a team perspective and the actual saving of Patriot, we had pumps on the water, we have floats on the water, we have basically everything you need to keep the boat from sinking in a worst case scenario. And I would say in retrospect, we were probably a bit underprepared. And we had, and I say that only because we ended up with 16 pumps in the boat. We put 6 of our pumps in the boat. It wasn't enough. We attached all of our marks to the bow and to the stern of the boat, and that would have kept her, had she actually gone underneath the surface. I mean, well, she was, but had she gone completely under, the boat would have floated, a meter below the surface with everything that we had. As we later understood it a little bit more, we only needed enough to float about 4 tons, and we had more than that to keep the boat, with the buoyancy of the water as well. We received some incredible support from the New Zealand authorities, from the fire and rescue. The local authorities showed up with pumps. We received incredible support from, truly unbelievable support from Team New Zealand, from Ineos and Luna Rossa. There was a level of support from the other teams that is a great testament to sportsmanship, to kind of the, this mentality that we're all in it together, which we are. I think I have an overwhelming sense of pride, not only in how our team handled the situation, but how the sailing community here in New Zealand handled the situation. The infrastructure that they have in place on the water from a Auckland community perspective was bang on. It was hard because we have 3 years invested into this boat. We have all this support of these great people. We have incredible support from Hap Fouth and Doug DeVos and Roger Penske and the New York Yacht Club, and so I think when you're in that situation, you quickly realize it's not going to be the first mistake that gets you, as it is when we race. It's always going to be the second one. And what the team did an incredible job at was recognizing we couldn't bring her back home bow first, so we had to go in reverse, and we kept the water out of the boat. We made the priority to make sure that our team and our family was safe. And then when we got back to, shore, we had a good plan to get the rig out, to get the boat out of the water, and we had a good team meeting inside the shed. And then I think one of the strengths of American Magic and of our team as a whole is the people. And from here on out, we just allowed the people to do their jobs, and not overcomplicate the process, understand what needs to be taken and needs to be done, and then allow it all to happen. And that's, sitting here today, that's what we're doing. Right now, you could probably drive your car into the hole that's in the side of the boat. Small car, but a car nonetheless. But thankfully, we have great Boat 1 and Defiant sitting out in the forecourt that they've taken some of the componentry out of and some of the structure out of Defiant. We've had great support from Team New Zealand and their boat building facility, and they're helping us out with some of the flat panel that gets attached to, that's basically getting rebuilt off the mold that we have. Our boat building team is taking care of the structure inside the yacht. The electronics department is taking care of all the electronics, and everything's been pulled out of the boat. Everything's been tested. We know exactly what has to go back into the boat and what's new and what's not new. And so, we're making great progress almost every hour. I think our determination is to win the regatta. That's our determination. Our expectation is the boat's going to go back in the water, and it's going to be same as it was last Sunday. A minute before we tipped her over, and we had 3 pretty horrendous days in a row. And I don't think any of us are going to let those 3 days beat us. So I'm not. I'm ready to go sailing tomorrow, and when we get the boat back from the shore team, we'll be ready to go.
As we said earlier, American Magic's withdrawal has really thrown the cats amongst the pigeons. In effect, this weekend has turned into a head-to-head between Ineos Team UK and Luna Rossa Prada Pirelli. If Ineos Team UK defeats Luna Rossa Prada Pirelli in our opening race and completes the ghost race against American Magic, they will advance straight to the Prada Cup final. However, if Luna Rossa win today and tomorrow's races, they will advance direct to the final. So there's plenty to play for. After the break, we'll join the action on the water. It's Ineos Team UK against Luna Rossa Prada Pirelli. The Prada Cup Round Robin Series has become a 2-boat race. With American Magic out of the Round Robin Series, Ineos Team UK only need 1 win to skip the semis and go direct to the final. Let's head to the water as they prepare to take on Luna Rossa Prada Pirelli.
Luna Rossa Prada Pirelli into the starting area in this critical setup for Round Robin 3, race number 2. They need to win.
Reach out. This is the race committee. We will be postponing the start. Stand by for further instructions.
That was a sign of things to come, so while we wait for the reset, let's catch up with Max Serena. The Italian skipper knows they have to push the bounds to win, but he's acutely aware there is no room for mistakes.
Well, this weekend obviously is our first final because we basically need to win mainly the first race to break even, and then if we are good enough to win the first race, we need to win another race and going straight to the final, which is, I think, key and important, mainly because you will have more time to prepare the final of the Prada Cup. What you are missing all the time in the America's Cup is time. and having the chance to have an extra week where you can control your time is key at this point of the campaign.
If anyone thought Ineos was going to have trouble, think again. It truly is game on in the Prada Cup.
As I said many times in the press conference, when everyone was giving up already, Ben and his team, I said, well, you guys don't know Ben and the people involved in the team. I knew the level of the team during the Christmas Cup was not the real level of the team. We all know Ben is probably one of the greatest sailors in the planet, and Giles as well is going to be the future guy, no? And the team, the sailors they got on board are pretty good, so we know we got pressure on because obviously they got too much points, but we need to just fight until the end and make one mistake less than them. Everyone here at the base is pretty confident, but we also know if we're going to lose, we're going to lose, and we need to think already to the next step, which is American Magic.
Wall here. Whoa, hang on here. American Magic.
I'm sure they will get back probably stronger than before, because when you climb up from something like that, you have even more power than before. No? For sure they're facing a big challenge, but they're going to come out from that. In a certain wind range, it's probably the fastest boat compared to the three of us. But as I said, when we saw the capsize of Team New Zealand months ago, I said already there, it's not going to be the last one. More you race, more you will push the boat. And everyone here wants to stay ahead. So for sure, you can argue they could do something different, but after is always easy. But when you are ahead, you want to stay ahead, so you push them pretty hard, and I will be no surprise if we're going to see another thing like that. Hopefully not, but we need to be ready, and it's part of the game.
Stay up, stay up, stay up.
Obviously, the first goal of our campaign is to get to the final of the Prada Cup, and we will do our best to achieve that, because at the end we worked for more than 3 years to get there. And think step by step. I don't think we need to think about the cup or whatever. Now the first real final of our campaign is this Saturday race.
Back on the water, the delays were only just beginning.
Hey guys,
Yes.
we've got 7 minutes 40 seconds here, so we don't have long.
Grinders are seeing Cunningham demand on their displays as well. Over.
So we've been listening in the background. It sounds like Ineos have an issue with that Cunningham on the main. It's quite an important tool. What it does is it increases the power, decreases the power of the sail. It pulls down the luff. All sailors know when you pull the Cunningham on, it flattens the sail, makes the boat go fast. You ease the Cunningham out, powers up and goes much quicker.
Race committee, we would like to request a delay, please.
Ineos Team UK, we copy that, and we'll add a 15-minute delay to the start clock, making the new start time 17:15.
Copies, many thanks.
Ineos Team UK had a disastrous World Series. They struggled to win or finish a race. Now, though, they are the team to beat. But rattled by the American Magic capsize, Subin Ainsley is mindful that you can't throw caution to the wind.
They got water in that boat. That boat is really low in the water right now. Something has gone badly wrong with Patriot.
I think the American Magic capsize was a wake-up call for all of us. You know, we push this boat really hard, and obviously, you know, those are the consequences if you push it just that little bit too hard. When the breeze is up, it's a reminder to first and foremost keep the boat in balance and under control. After that, it's changed things in terms of the points required to win the round robins and get through direct to the Prada Cup final. And it's just upped the intensity in terms of the racing that we will have with Luna Rossa over this coming weekend. Up the intensity, the importance of winning those races.
Clearing transom 2-1 now.
Luna Rossa have been involved in the America's Cup since 2000, so they've been in the game 20 odd years. Very, very experienced outfit. They've got great designers, great sailors, fantastic backing from Patricio Bertelli and the Prada brand. And they're really iconic, I think, when it comes to the America's Cup. That said, there are competitors, we want to beat them, and we'll be trying our hardest this weekend to get that route through to the final.
Very nice there. Yeah, good gains.
For us, we just have to take each race at a time. And you know, if we don't have a good race on Saturday, we'll have to come back on Sunday and try again. But really, we just got to keep the intensity going.
Okay, awesome hustle, guys.
Well done, guys. Ineos Team UK, they go 4-0 in the Prada Cup Challenger Series.
It's been quite a long period now that we've been down here in Auckland, 3 months, and that momentum's slowly been building. We've had our ups and our downs, and certainly last weekend was a real up for the team, great motivator, and you can feel that momentum growing. So actually I see that we are able to capitalise on that and hopefully keep that rolling through this weekend. But you know, it's never easy in this game, and we don't expect it to be easy, so we'll always fight all the way.
They're maneuvers that we've just never seen them this smooth. Something has drastically changed under the water to make these maneuvers so smooth.
Well, the benefits of getting straight into the Prada Cup final are it just buys you time, and we all know in this game, time's everything. So it buys you a bit of extra time to maybe make some tweaks that you perhaps wouldn't otherwise get the opportunity. If you don't make it through to that final, you're into the repechage or the semi-final, which starts 4 or 5 days later. And so it really narrows down any development time you've got. So that's why it's so important to try and make it through straight to the Prada Cup final and give yourself a couple of weeks breathing space to make the developments and hopefully make some more gains in boat speed.
Right, after an 80-minute delay caused by a combination of shifty winds, course changes and boat maintenance, racing finally looks set to get underway. We'll head straight to the starting line after this break. It's crunch time. Can Ineos Team UK book that place in the final, or will Luna Rossa Prada Pirelli spoil their party? Time to head to the water for a Prada Cup thriller.
Luna Rossa is in Ineos Team UK, and they are clean to start fighting.
Shifty, breezy. We've seen a record of 14 tacks in a race. As shifty as this is, we may see that record broken today, with teams having to tack on the smallest and subtlest of wind shifts.
We did 250, 90.
Bigger audio.
Italy bearing away here. This is where the boats are going to start to aim at each other on the exit of this manoeuvre.
Yeah, he's going to be early here. It's square.
Luna Rossa do look quite early on their turn back there.
Yeah, Ainsley picks that up, so he's going to go behind. Very likely go behind and tack and then start that pushing maneuver.
Boundary in 12, Ben. Okay, ready? 2, 1, more down.
Really early, but that's a small starting box, starting area down there right now, Nathan. So it's a struggle for them both not being early.
Yeah, and you don't want to come off the foils. You come off the foils, it's a long build. So power in the start right now is to Ben Ainsley and crew.
Here comes the push.
Coming on. Going away. Down.
Jimmy Spithill, the helmsman on Luna Rossa, trying to stay in front, yet not be too early for the line.
Oh, he's come off the foil there. Big slam down.
Easing out. Slow head, 23 knots. Watch him. Short him. He's a little early. Yeah. Okay, all the way? Yep. All the way. All the way. Go hard. Go hard. Go. Nice race. Here we go.
An hour and 20 after the official race start, we are finally underway in round robin 3, race number 2. Luna Rossa, Ineos Team UK, must win is at top of mind.
Amazing timing sequence there of both of these boats. How hard it is to slow down and speed up at those speeds, at those radical angles. Incredibly well done, actually, by both teams going into that start.
Pressure on the way.
Coming up to boundary protection time, Nathan.
Yeah, so this will be the Ineos rolling into attack pretty soon. You see a board going down now. They had to tack because of the boundary protection for Prada. Just trying to get a little bit of leverage here. Jimmy Spittle trying to go as far as he can. Just got to be careful he doesn't get a boundary penalty here. A little bit of separation so they can live on the hip there. Now it's going to be about boat speed and intersection when they come back port starboard.
Now it's about the wind shift out there. This is going to be a drag race across this race course. And Shirley, who do you think has the advantage as they head all the way across?
Kenny, we're on the right-hand side, just under North Head, and it looks really good here. Plenty of pressure, a massive big shift. So, you know, Ben's going to get here first. We'll see if it works out.
Don't leave him much room out the other side. Yeah, he's going to be able to get it. So I think we're going to go
on board Ineos.
Ready. 2, 1, board down.
Here comes a port starboard, Ineos on starboard. I think Prada's well across right now.
3, 2, 1, board down. Board down. They don't like the hit tacks.
Not the best tack in the world from Luna Rossa, but they pull it off. Not a great tack by Luna Rossa. All of a sudden, they had the advantage, and it went badly for them very quickly here. Tiny little mistake, Nathan.
Tiny mistake gives Ineos just that chance to get back into the race. And it's interesting, Ben Ainsley is to leeward the whole time, driving relative to the boat there. You can see he's still on the leeward side of the boat here. It's the best way to judge the boat to leeward.
It's not easy to do, is it? It's not easy to steer from the leeward side on any boat, never mind a boat going 40 knots.
No, and I just had that touch down there. There's a luff coming here.
This is clear left. Yeah, that's
Speed again. Pressure in front. Anytime.
Aggressive sailing there by Luna Rossa.
Okay, build. Got to build.
It's going to be a tough tack for Britannia because they got slow there. Spithill did a really nice job getting him slow, and sure enough, they come off the foils going to the tack. Great move by Spithill as they came in towards that boundary.
So they're just getting up and falling now. That should have Luna Rossa a few boat lengths ahead when they get to the top mark, especially if they can lay the top marks from there. That would mean no more tacks. Looking at this graphic here, it looks like both boats still have another tack and a left turn at the top mark to come.
Heading towards the top gate to complete leg 1 of 6. And it is all on, elbows out.
You must say the intensity's there in this one, isn't it? The highest intensity we've seen in any racing to date.
High pitch. Right here, guys. Stand by. Keep pushing. 3. Possible right turn here. Go. Your wheel, Ben? Yeah, my wheel here. Good pressure here. Coming on. He tacks.
Terrible tack by Luna Rossa Prada Pirelli.
Can they get inside? Can Ineos get inside? They did it again. They did it again. Luna Rossa struggled on the tack.
Ineos Team UK, top gate first mark, and they get under. Luna Rossa Prada Pirelli.
Now this is far from over, guys.
We got a match race going on here.
Simo jibe, both boats jibing at the same time. Luna Rossa Prada Pirelli trying to roll them out of this jibe to take the lead.
I wonder why they're struggling. They've had 2 bad tacks at exactly the wrong time.
I think they're dropping the board too late. You can hear the comms on board. You know, Jimmy's talking to Bruni about when to drop the board, and seems like there's communication issues there.
Onto the water with a Shirley. You promised a cracking race. We got one.
And it's not over yet, Stephen. There's more to come, that's for sure. And I also think with the British boat that they can't hold a tight lane, that they haven't got height. I mean, they're super fast when they're on the road, but get them to windward of Luna Rossa, and they're really struggling. We're following the boats down here, and to me, Luna Rossa just has a slight edge. They're just extending on the British all the time.
You wonder,
very close.
Shirley, you wonder if the Cunningham is an issue when they're going downwind. That Cunningham was jammed on hard for upwind. You wonder if they can't change gears quite well enough downwind because of that Cunningham.
Yeah, and I think also on the upwind, just they didn't have the modes that we're used to seeing.
Luna Rossa, Prada Pirelli. Downwind leg number 2 of 6, sitting around 40-odd knots, and it's a split tack by both as they go downwind. And is that issue with the Cunningham on Ineos Team UK limiting their performance in this critical race?
Luna Rossa's in a big right-hand shift right now, it appears, but if they pass back, this will be the 4th pass, Nathan, in this race so far.
Stand by in 3, 2, 1, hold down.
So while it looked good with that right-hand shift for them there, when they jibe out, now they're sailing the lifted tack, which is not good on the downwind. It's puffy and patchy out there, and I think, you know, when you saw how fast they were going downwind before, they were doing 48 knots downwind before. I think that's got to do with the fact that Ineos can't power the boat up downwind, so they're just in fast mode everywhere they go at the moment because they've strapped that Cunningham on so tight, but I reckon they've got ahead here.
The world will be tempted, Stephen, to say, oh, look at Giles Scott did it again. This is a bit lucky in this particular case. They had to jibe away and got a nice shift out of it.
Stand by. 5, ready. 3, further. 3, 2, 1.
Ineos Team UK get around gate number 2, completing the downward leg for the first time, and they get ahead again. This is tight, though. There's nothing in this. Just quick look on the gap, and it won't be too much. It'll be a smidge. 9 seconds. Have problems, no worries for Ineos Team UK.
So Prada rolling straight into attack there. They were saying right-hand shift, so you want to get onto starboard tack when the breeze is right. That's going to get you up the course. So both boats now on the lifted tack. They're trying to do less distance. Super shifty out there. So if this breeze keeps trending to the right, Luna Rossa, who are on the right-hand side of the course, are going to make the gain. If it flicks left at all, Ineos should make the tack and cross easily. So big cross coming up here, Shirley.
Get pressure in 3, 2, 1. There it is. Still sort of long.
I think he's gonna shake.
Starboard tack, Luna Rossa. I've lost count of the amount of passes.
Hey, we can count them after us. Let's focus on this. I assure you, when you're racing, you don't count the passes. It's all about who's winning at the finishing line.
Right, you hit, Ben. Yeah, copy.
Giles talking about more right-hand pressure coming, so they're going to judge how far they go out to the right to get a better slice of it.
Little soft big right hand, unfortunately, but copy. We'll just try and dig into it. Hope it hangs in for us. It's off the head.
That's the geometry of the race course that they're referencing right now. They would be, you'd have a different tactical strategy if you didn't have these boundaries. These boundaries really change things.
Looks like Luna Rossa's just tacked onto port, and they've got a left-hand shift, so chance they're going to leg out on this upwind and make a big gain, but so shifty out there. It's going to change a few more times, I think.
3 laps around this race course, Stephen.
3 laps equals 6 legs, and we're heading towards the halfway point, and Nathan suggested that Luna Rossa, Prada Pirelli might make their gains, and you might be right on the money there, Nathan.
So the big question now is, do they keep sailing the wind, or do they tack now and tack on their face and try and get in phase with them and control the race? And just as I say that, they roll into attack. So This is what they didn't do last Sunday. They didn't tack into phase, and today they're doing a bit more match racing.
Sorry, it is a fine line, though. Look at that wind shift. It just looks like a left shift coming right there. And it's a fine line of covering, but you have to cover smartly. You have to cover with wind shifts on your mind, because if you just cover for the sake of covering, very often you can get passed on a day like today.
Stand by. Crossing. High pitch. Yep. Ready. 2, 1, 4 down.
Taking now.
Yeah, it's on. We're lifting.
Yeah, I agree. Pressure in 5.
They let him go this time, Nathan. They're playing the shift. I think this is the right play.
Trimming up, man. Trimming up.
Yeah, looking like there's plenty of pressure coming down above them there, and it's a balance between angle and pressure. And
Coming up. We just push all the way to boundary. Here we go. Yeah, as long as there's pressure. Yeah, he's just got a massive riding.
so Ben's saying that Luna Rossa got a massive rider, so they got a big lift. It's not really ideal. You want a left-hand shift when you're on the left of the course, but they might make it to the lay line. If they get to that lay line and get a left shift any time there, they're going to lay the top mark. Shirley, on the water, how do you see this playing out at the top of the course?
Nathan, we're about 100 metres from Ineos. They're just tacking on that right-hand side of the course. There's a big black cloud. There's plenty of breeze. It looks right-hand. So they could well have made a really good decision, just whether it works out in time. There's also wind at the left-hand side of the top of this course that Prada are about to sail into.
At this point, it's anyone's race. We'll be back with more nail-biting action right after the break.
Pressure this way. Yep. Go, 4 down, 4 down. 4 down. Your wheel. Hey, stand by.
Wow, we promise you a thriller, and that's exactly what we've got. Ineos Team UK and Luna Rossa Prada Pirelli battling it out for the win and that place in the final.
Pressure, yeah.
Hey, just you got to watch him on the barrelway, okay?
Copy that. Copy that. Copy.
240.
Good course here. Little current on the mark.
Yeah. Stand by. 3, 2, 1.
Clear.
Halfway through race 2, round robin 3, and it will be Luna Rossa Prada Pirelli reversing a 9-second deficit at the bottom gate and turning that into an advantage over Ineos Team UK. They're in the box seat at the moment. 19 seconds, so they've turned a 9-second deficit around to a 19-second advantage.
That looked pretty windy at the top mark to me. You saw Luna Rossa get a massive heel in that barrelway, and Francesco Bruni saying, ease, ease, ease. He didn't want that rudder to pop out at that moment, and Ineos Team UK rolled straight into a jibe, so both boats on the right-hand shift with plenty of pressure going down this run.
And that jibe by Ineos was absolutely the telltale sign that they didn't want to spend a single second on starboard tack. There was a big right-hand shift on the race course. They had to stay in phase. This is not the time to split. This is the time to play the wind shifts correctly.
Downwind leg, leg number 4 of 6. Luna Rossa Prada Pirelli with the lead, sitting at around 250 metres on Team Ineos UK.
Yep, my trap.
Okay, they're bringing it down. Very good pressure. I think we extend a little. Come back.
Bit of speed here, guys.
You know, I think that's main trimmer Pietro Sabello actually spending more time looking around. There's no question that all the teams are thinking about more visual help on the race course, looking at wind shifts.
Yeah, I think he's adding a lot to the conversation today, and it's definitely paying off at the moment.
Big speed advantage with Ineos at the moment, sitting at 44 knots as opposed to just under 40 knots, and they are flying. Look at them. You can just from the naked eye, they are They are scooting along, Ineos.
So it's all about the wind shift. Now, where's this next shift? If it stays in the right, Prada gains. If it comes back a little left, then Ineos gains.
Little lighter on exit. Okay, going forward there. My wheel, my edge. Okay, here it comes. Little rebuild coming here, left 32. Last on and 2. Here we go, here it is. Here we go.
Pressure, more pressure behind us.
No lower.
Jibe.
Yeah.
I mean, the best news for this whole entire Cup cycle is how close these boats are in speed. Nobody's running away with any of this. You make a mistake, you lose. You don't make a mistake, you win. That's all we can ask for as fans of the sport.
So they jibe before the ley line to the bottom mark by the looks of that, which means they trying to, both boats do a left turn at the bottom here. I see what's going on. Oh, maybe they have got in. But it's just so risky. If you let their boat behind split, it's a good chance that Ineos could get back into this. So see how this plays out.
Yeah, they're going to jibe in, running in here on Prada.
They're trying to stay in phase. Smart move, that.
Pull forward. Very good.
Okay, stand by 3. 3, easy. 2, 1, coming up.
Luna Rossa, Prada, Pirelli around the bottom gate. Gate mark number 4. The advantage at the top was 19 seconds, but you know Ineos Team UK have picked up 9 seconds. It's now down to 10 seconds.
And just pulled off a phenomenal maneuver, a brutally hard maneuver, and got themselves out of phase right away.
So in that case, Luna Rossa spent a bit of their lead, gave up a few seconds or 100 metres or so to get in phase, but Ben instantly got out of phase regardless. So he's going to get aggressive up this wind, and just it's a balance between wind shifts, wind strength, and getting out of phase with that other boat. But they're gapping forward at the moment, aren't they? Great manoeuvre though at the bottom mark, wasn't it?
Perfect, beautiful. This is a team that a few weeks ago couldn't tack or jibe. I mean, it's really phenomenal. Boat speed's pretty similar, Stephen, both around 35 knots upwind.
Looking at the positioning of the boats on this race course, the penultimate leg, 5 of 6, and really there's nothing in this. There's nothing in this.
That's the truth. There's nothing in it. I mean, it's absolutely amazing.
There's a lot of chat coming off the boats, isn't there? You can tell the intensity by how much chat there is.
That leeward mark maneuver absolutely worked for Ainsley to get him right back in the game.
Hey, Shirley, I think it's time to go down to you. What do you see with the wind? Is Ben Ainsley heading the right way right now? Is he going to retake the lead here?
I think we're in phase at the moment. Copy that.
Oh, Nathan, you can hear from the comms on board. It's really difficult to tell. You know, normally as a sailor, you can tell if the breeze coming, if it's going to be left or right, but it's really difficult. There's a lot of cloud action. There's just a lot going on, and it's pretty hard. I think just looking at the pace, we're right underneath Ineos now. Ineos are fast to me, but they look slightly lower. Not quite as high as Prada, but really difficult day.
So I'm really surprised, Nathan, that Luna Rossa did not tack on top of Ineos. I think they're a little gun shy from those 2 bad tacks on the first leg, and they didn't tack in close quarters right on top of Ineos, because they could have forced them right back into a short-sided racetrack.
Yeah, exactly. If you tack directly in front of them, you're in good shape. But right now, I can hear right-hand shift. Jimmy thinks that they're not going to cross. So Ineos are going to roll into attack here, and I think Ineos are going to go behind them.
I'm really surprised. That last tack, they're going to really think of as a big mistake by Prada not tacking right in front of Ineos. It gives Ineos the lead again.
Little reload here. Nice riding here.
It's just all about being in phase with these wind shifts. We know Auckland is super shifty. We've been talking about for an hour and a half before this race began. Tactician's race, it's all about getting in phase. And if you're fast, it doesn't, you know, if Ineos are low and fast, but you're on the shift, then that's great.
So potential lead change in the offing again. Luna Rossa had a 10-second lead at the completion of leg number 4. But have they been outsailed again on this final upwind leg by Ineos Team UK, who, if they win this one and then complete the go start, will go directly to the Prada Cup final.
Let's hear them come into this top mark.
Set up, crossing. Off edge. One edge. Not there yet on the box. 2, 1, one down. Okay, you good? Standing. Clear cross here if we want it. Okay. My wheel. There we go. Your wheel. Going straight here.
Still not much in it though, Nathan. Just across.
Your wheel. Main on. Yeah. Start the barrel away. Start the barrel away for me. Yeah. You're bearing away in 3, 2, 1 down. My wheel. Your wheel.
Ineos Team UK, Luna Rossa Prada Pirelli. Nothing in it. Absolutely nothing in it. Split gates and away we go. Final leg of race 2, round robin number 3. Who do these fans want to win? It'll be split. But wow.
They had to jibe there, Nathan. Obviously, there's a right shift on the race course. They're both going in the right direction right now with regards to wind shifts. Prada had to jibe right away. They were coming up on the boundary, but clearly a big right shift there at the end.
Doesn't look that great inside at the moment.
So the big question is now is, have they positioned themselves in the best pressure? Giles Scott said he's got a good letdown. Maybe Prada have got the better of the pressure right now, and Ineos are actually sailing up and out of it. You know, I think Ineos, when they jibe, they're going to come on starboard. If Prada make this cross,
that's the zone.
it's another lead change. The question will be, does Prada match the jibe, or do they allow the split further down this race?
Well, if they stay on, if they stay in phase here, get across, then they will at least have starboard tack advantage coming back toward the end. This is crucial right now.
Hold your breath. Key cross coming.
Ineos just getting across his starboard tack advantage.
Better for him, but I think if we jibe, we'll get rolled, so we're going to stay this way. What do you think? What do you think of the pressure here? We have put pressure on our side.
Okay, so both boats agreeing pressure is better on the left-hand side of the track as we're looking downwind. So Prada are probably going to better pressure right now. Giles said he wanted to jibe, but if I jibe, I get rolled. It's going to get tighter and closer as we get to the bottom here, I think.
Yeah, we're going to jibe soon here. Stand by. 2, 1.
Remember, folks, this is the last leg. This is the finish. These guys are coming into this bottom finish line. This is it.
Let us remind you, Luna Rossa Prada Pirelli need to win this race to stay alive in the hopes of finishing top of the round robin series.
Okay, so neither boat's laying here. Ineos have just jibed. I think they are potentially laying the finishing line. Prada have starboard advantage, but they need one more jibe to come here. This is going to be tight.
They got to get at them. They have to get them on starboard. I think they're in trouble on Prada.
Ineos sneaks across the bow. Are they going to get there?
They're trying to set them up on a port starboard.
Protest.
Oh,
here we go. Let's put it in the hands of the jury. I think that was a bit of a Hollywood. No penalty on board. No penalty.
And that hands the race to Ineos there.
Ineos Team UK heading towards the finish line in race 2 of round robin number 3 and cross the line.
All right, guys, calm down.
And that is an enormous win, because all they have to do now is complete a ghost race start and they go through to the Prada Cup final.
What a race.
the Hollywood done by Jimmy Spithill to try to convince the judges that it was a port starboard. They did not, the umpires did not fall for it, and I think they made the right call, and Ineos goes on to win the race.
Luna Rossa, Prada Pirelli crossed the line 33 seconds behind after at one stage leading by 19 seconds. Let's go down to Sir Ben Ainsley. Congratulations, Ben. Stunning race considering the issues you had pre-start.
Yeah, that was one for the fans, huh? That was a pretty awesome race. It was great to take part in. Lots of lead changes, neck and neck all the way to the line. You know, full credit to the Luna Rossa guys for pushing hard.
Ben, thanks for your time. You've got a start to take part in and to confirm that you will head through to the Prada Cup final. So best of luck with that, and we'll talk to you a little bit later.
Thanks, guys.
On to Luna Rossa, Prada Pirelli. Jimmy, thanks for giving us your time. Gee, that was close.
Yeah, what a race, eh? Yeah, ended up being a pretty exciting race, I'm sure, for everyone watching.
Jimmy, how close was that last port starboard? Did you think you had a piece of them, or was that a little bit of a Hollywood in there, or how did that go? Did you think you had a chance at it?
Yeah, I mean, for us, we definitely had a piece. We're doing, 45 knots, both of us. We had to avoid him, so pretty surprised to see that they thought that was not close enough.
Jimmy, thanks for your time, mate. There's still a bit of work to do. We'll talk to you soon.
Thank you.
Good pressure here.
2 ghost races gifted each team an easy point.
This is the umpires. USA have retired. Race awarded to GBR.
But it was Ineos Team UK's day. They get to savour the champagne and secure a place in the Prada Cup final.
Oh, look, it's a great moment for the team because we've obviously had a tough start, a tough build-up to this competition. So I'm incredibly proud of everyone. That said, we know we've still got a long way to go in this road. So whilst we've got ourselves into the Prada Cup final, it's just one step along the road, and now we've got to focus on trying to win that. And then after that, the Cup. So one step at a time. But yeah, the team have done a fantastic job.
Mr. Bertelli, the head of the Prada Group, has decided to present the Christmas trophy to the leading boat after the round robins. Ineos Team UK!
Ineos Team UK take home the Christmas Cup, but there is plenty of high-speed drama to come. The falling monohulls will be back in the water soon as Luna Rossa, Prada Pirelli and American Magic take to the water and fight it out in the Prada Cup semi-final.